Once upon a time, there was a cold, cold day at Lambeau Field, and the Green Bay Packers were playing the Dallas Cowboys. My name is Bonnie Giroux, and I live in Germantown, Wisconsin, just south of Green Bay, a couple hours. I grew up in Kaukauna, Wisconsin, and it's about 15, 20 minutes away from Green Bay, right within the range where football games were blacked out in the old days because we were too close to the stadium. My father's name is Richard Giroux. He was a big, tall, 6'4" guy. He was a great guy, great sense of humor, and a great sense of adventure. Flying was his passion. He had different places he'd like to go, especially in the wintertime when he had the skis on the plane. He would fly to Lake Winnebago and find an open spot on the ice and land and go talk to the ice fishermen. He would fly to my sister's house. He would call her on the phone and say, "I'm coming to Oshkosh, I'm coming for coffee," and then he'd go land in her backyard.
From Lambeau Field in Green Bay, Wisconsin, it's the National Football League's championship game. The Green Bay Packers play host to the Dallas Cowboys.
We were just like, oh, this is gonna be the greatest game, they gotta beat Dallas. And we were all upset because we couldn't see the game because it was blacked out. I was home for the weekend. My roommate came home with me, Judy Michelson.
And the question now is, can the Dallas Cowboys overcome this very, very cold weather?
We're getting ready to listen to the game on the radio when my dad pops up with the bright idea, "I think I want to fly to Green Bay and see what's happening from the air." And he looked at me and he says, "Do you want to go?" And I said, "I'm not going, it's too cold." And Judy looked at him and she was kind of like, "I'll go." Last minute, she grabbed the camera when she left. So I'll take my camera, take some pictures. None of us anticipating that he would get that close to the stadium. We didn't figure he would fly in that close. But he did. The plane that flew over the Ice Bowl was a Cessna 140. It was kept at Van Zeeland's farm out north of Kaukauna, which also had a landing strip and hangars where other flyers kept their airplanes.
When your dad was here, there was only an east to west runway. So he'd have gone from that point down there where that high grass is and taken off that direction, and he'd have cleared the high lines, and then he'd have headed off to a left turn, and he'd have headed off to Green Bay.
He was Lambeau bound.
Yeah. He didn't have to file a flight plan or anything. He'd tell somebody on the ground, "This is where I'm going." They flew over, I would say, probably somewhere near the end of the second quarter. Took one pass at the field, went down in close, took another pass, maybe 1,500 to 1,000 feet. It was 13 below, and I think up in the plane where they were, it was much colder. The inside of the windows started to ice up on the inside from their breath. When they walked in the door, they looked like two frozen tomatoes. Their noses were bright red. They were cold. They were just freezing. Judy's nose was just as red as Rudolph.
Starr begins the count. Takes the snap. He's got the quarterback sneak, and he's into the touchdown.
When the Packers won, there was just joy, I guess. We were all real happy. For a while there, we just kind of forgot about the flight. I'm a retired third grade teacher. My dad passed in 2010. Judy now lives in Phoenix, Arizona. The pictures that Judy took that none of us were aware of spent the next close to 50 years in her closet in Arizona until she cleaned out and found them. Judy called me and said she had them and asked would I want them, and I said, absolutely, yeah, send them. Something remind me of my dad. When I got the package, I opened them up and I looked at the pictures and I went, oh my God. That's the Ice Bowl. And then you see the next picture where he flew down in close, and I'm thinking, I I wonder if I can see Bart Starr in this picture, but you can't, but I tried. Looking at the photos, I think you get a perspective of the whole game, the whole field, all the people. This is really happening. It's really cold out. They're playing a game down there. When I see these pictures, I think of my dad as a daring man. Nobody else was in the sky that day. This is a historic game, and these are historic pictures. They need to be shared. And so here I am now.